Oh, y'all already know what time it is. Y'all already know what time it is. Get ready for the Unpopular Opinion podcast. Music by DJ Drip No Slip. I'm your host, Grand Hefe. That's my co-host, Dano the Don. What's going on with you, bro?
Yata. You know what it is.
You and these awkward behind intros. Hey, y'all don't really understand. That's how weirdly awkward this dude is for real. Like just that right there. That's literally who he is. It's literally Dano in a nutshell, for sure.
And if you don't know who it is, then you gotta learn.
Definitely him in a nutshell. Hey, we got a good show for y'all today, man. We got a lot of, as always. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Unpopular Opinion podcast on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna have everything on the YouTube channel. YouTube channel is Real Unpopular Opinion podcast. All the links
that sub.
Instagram, Twitters, the Unpopular Opinion Instagram, the Anchor website, all that stuff will be in the description. So if you want to follow us, you want to see what's going on, click the link in the description. For those who continue to download the podcast, we really appreciate you guys for your continued support. Keep downloading the podcast, share it with some people if you like it, even if you don't like it, share it with some people. So let's go ahead and get the show. I wish y'all could see what I was seeing right now. But let's go ahead and get this show rolling. 24-year-old Robert Fuller out of Palmdale, California, was found hanging on June 8th last week.
No, June 10th, bro. June 10th.
June 10th. I'm sorry. June.
My
10th.
birthday. On my birthday.
The city is calling it a accidental suicide. What they said, and to further express their point of view, they were saying, sadly, this, since COVID happened, this ain't the first suicide that they've had. So I ask you, bro, do you believe this, and what is taking so long for an autopsy?
Honestly, I don't believe this is all. It's scary that this happened in California, where there's a very big group of minorities. So this feels like now, man, if you look at old pictures, this is exactly how you imagine it. All these protests, people hanging from trees now.
Not to mention,
it's getting crazy.
Not to mention that he was hanging from a tree. So you're telling me that this man, 24 years old, couldn't find something in his house to hang himself, if that's what he really wanted to do, that he go outside,
yeah, of all things,
hang himself on a tree?
It don't make no sense at all. And the sad thing is, it's just gonna be one thing after another until we get the change we need. Until we get that change, it's gonna be things like this happening over and over again.
This stuff will never go away, though. I mean, that's what I believe. Like this will never go away. Like this is something that we deal with, and we're gonna have to deal with, because the people that's in charge is people that don't look like us, that don't like us, and even the ones that do look like us that's in office, they're the good old boys. That's the reason why they're there in the first place. So I don't see stuff like this. I don't see stuff like this changing at all. And the fact that this is still happening in 2020, we're talking about Black men are still getting lynched in 2020. Like, that's crazy. For all you people that always want to say, oh, well, ain't nobody lynching you guys no more. Ain't nobody doing all this no more. Well, listen, this ain't the first person that's been lynched. It's just now a lot of stuff is now coming to the light. A lot of stuff that normally probably wouldn't come to the light, or wouldn't be magnified as deeply.
Now with that question
I
too,
think now in these times, nothing is sliding.
And with that being, with this whole case of them saying it's a suicide, personally, it makes me want to back up and think about how many other Black murders were considered suicides. How many other Black murders do we have to go take a second look at that were called a suicide? And I feel like if we opened up that bag of worms, they going everywhere because we all know this happens, and it's just a sad place we're in today. But at least something's on the on the verge of change. We're on the bridge to the dream, I guess Martin
So
Luther
they
King was talking
so
about.
they say things are on the change. That's exactly what they want us to believe, that oh, we're doing all this stuff. It's all fake love for me. I'm still gonna stand by that. It's all fake love for me because once the smoke clears and everything goes back to normal, um, we're gonna we're gonna see how these people really feel. Everybody true colors always show. When you're back against the wall, you do anything that you 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 can within your power to get out of that jam when you're back against the wall. But what happens when nobody's holding your feet to the fire no more? How are you going to respond then? And that's what we're going to really see, how they respond. Moving on though, Rayshard Brooks was shot 3 times in Atlanta in the Wendy's parking lot. That Wendy's has since been burned down, and the officer that shot him, his name is Garrett Rolfe. He has been fired, and the second officer that showed up on the scene has been placed on administrative leave. Um, so just a little backstory. Rayshard Brooks was uh, asleep in a Wendy's drive-through. The employees called the police. They showed up. Apparently, they gave Mr. Brooks a breathalyzer. He failed. When they tried to handcuff him, there was a scuffle. He fought the police officers. He grabbed one of their tasers. He took off and ran. The officer fired 3 shots, and he later died at the hospital. So my question is, man, how many more of these and this is why I say the marching and all that other stuff and protesting is literally the least effective form of quote unquote protest, because it only gets results in the moment. It doesn't get long-term results, because just like I just said right now, people are only going to be willing to do and say things that they feel is going to get them off the hook, that's going to keep them off the leash, that's not going that where their feet is not held to the fire. Because in this movement, you can't do no wrong by supporting the movement. And a lot of these companies know that. So I so for me, the protesting is, yeah, we're getting results now in the moment. Yes, and that's good. But what about 10, 15 years from now? What about when our kids grow up? What about the laws for them when they able to be going out into society, doing stuff? So for me, I think it yeah, it's getting us results now. I don't think that that's going to work because things like this is still happening. So I ask you, why do you think the penalty for breaking the law as a person that look like us with dark skin, why is it always death?
And I believe a lot of the violence that's uh, coming from the police is a fear. It's a fear of something they feel like maybe more powerful than them, and also there's a resentment level I feel in some of these officers where they feel like all the civilians are out to get them, and when they step into their role and they have that perception in their mind, it's already putting them in a place where they're going to violently hurt somebody. If you walk into a room scared, someone's it's viable to get hurt, and that's what's happening over and over again. And now I feel like with race, it's a really slow process. It's a really slow process, and we're gonna see probably for the next 100 years the same thing where we're gonna protest. It's gonna change for a little. It's gonna go back. We're gonna protest. We're gonna change a little, and it's gonna go back. but I feel like we improve 80 to really accept a 20 improvement after all is said and done, because it's going to go away, but it still should be better
So
than how it was
let
before.
me ask you this question though. Just from that, from what from the statement that I made, do you feel protesting um and rioting and looting, do you feel that that is an effective form of getting results for our people? Because the end goal, the end result of all of this should always be to get something out of this, right? Now there's been things that the people, the public have gotten out of this, as far as the no knock warrant, no more chokeholds, no more all of this. That's for the people though, but the people aren't really suffering. It's us that's suffering. So what are we getting out of protesting? What are we getting out of looting? Because that's what this is supposed to be for. Equality. Well, equality is getting the chokehold ban. Was it only allowed only just for black people? No, it's like you're saying there's no more chokehold for the Asian. There's no more for, the Puerto Rican and all of this. So is it helping us in a sense, or is it just or is it really them putting laws into place that should already be put into place? So do you feel protesting and rioting and looting, do you think that's effective in your opinion? Because nobody really have the right answer. There's no right or wrong. I'm just going based on
For
history.
this, that's a really hard question, because with protesting, I feel like if you just protest, nothing will come of it. But I feel like what we should be doing now is protesting, and while we have the power, we need to utilize that power, and as well as get knowledge in our community, we need to have somebody to put forward and say, okay, well, we don't want to get rid of the whole police, or maybe some people do, but if you don't want to get rid of the police, what are we going to do to fix it? We need to have people we can put forward. We need to have a better percentage of minorities in the police departments throughout the country, and they need to somehow regulate that. But on the other side of the spectrum, our community has to be willing to be police. Some of us have to be willing to do these jobs, but it all starts from us changing our perception, meaning we can't think every black man who's going to be a police is all of a sudden a snitch, and then we look at them in a negative way. And we also need the perception to change
But
on
they
us.
are, not I won't say they are. I'm just gonna say that a lot of them that are cops, they sit around and they allow and they see other officers doing these things and they don't say anything, and it makes you wonder, well, why that is. It is they going to get fired? Because it don't seem like no police officer ever speak out against excessive use of force. So
We need to make people more scared to not say something other than scared to say something. Right now, they're so scared of what may happen from their peers, but they're not scared of what will happen from the community. And that's what we need to change. And once that changes,
because we don't matter.
exactly.
We hold no cards, right?
The first step with protesting, everybody needs to get together. Everybody needs to get together and get the 13th Amendment edited and revised as per se. And we need to take off there being any enslavement of people. No matter if you go to jail, that we need to take that off, because right there, think about it. If you say basically, if this person gets in trouble, you can turn them into a slave. If anybody has that hatred inside of them, they could utilize that. I'm not saying take away jails and prisons, but it's the terminology. Once you tell somebody, unless you commit a crime, that's already telling people that they're still slaves, just not slaves for the moment. you're just slaves till we catch you up in something. Well, you're a free slave until we find or say you did something, and we could just say, all right, he did this. Now he's a criminal slave. And I feel like that's the first thing we need to do, and that's not really doing anything except taking slavery off of our paper, off of our constitution, have you? And I feel like we need to go look through these constitutions and those little cracks, those little cracks that they use to utilize our community. We need to go and fill them cracks with some concrete. But until we get some real scholars who are standing forward, because the scholars are sitting in their house watching the soldiers out in these streets. But we need scholars to get into the courthouses. We need people who are knowledgeable about laws and all this to go and stand up for our people. But all the smart people that could be, they're so scared to stand up for the BLM movement because of the craziness going on. I feel like protest means nothing without a valid voice that
without
can get
a
something
purpose,
done.
because that's what you should be doing it for in the first place.
Yeah. Because us walking around the street all day, it's just like if I just go run around a track all day, but I have no goal of, oh, okay, I want to be a football player, I want to be basketball, I want to do I'm just running around in circles. But once I say, okay, I want to be a track star, once I start running around those, that's training instead of me just running in circles. And that's the same thing we're doing as a community, as a Black community right now. We're all running in circles because we don't know what the answer is. And I'm starting to realize a lot of us don't have the answer. We're all fucking lost. And we're just running in circles because none of us are willing to sit down just for a second and go utilize our scholars, go utilize some motherfuckers who know what they talking about. And they on the internet, but people are so mesmerized with the violence, with the craziness going on. We ain't taking the time to use this same time for something positive. We're just looking at it like, yeah, fuck it. We fucking up shit. Nah, it shows that they're listening. All the shit that they're doing, they're listening right now. We need to take the chance right now to instate whatever we can that will have some longevity. And that's the only way protests will mean anything. If that answers the question. All that shit, if that answers the question.
I hear what you're saying. I get it. And it's also worth mentioning that I forgot to mention the Atlanta police chief, Erica Shields. She did resign from police chief. We'll be right back right after this quick break. And welcome back to the Unpopular Opinion podcast. We had to pay some bills real quick, but we right back at you. You already know what time it is. As promised before, Dano's dub of the day. What you got for me, my man? We should do some drum rolls in here, something for
yeah, for real. Dub of the day. Dano's dub of the day. All right. Now, today, I had to throw two of them in there because I didn't give Michael Jordan his dub for donating that 100 milli to Black Lives Matter. So I had to throw that in there just because Michael Jordan don't get that much respect. Let's just be honest. People love his shoes, but he don't get no respect.
As he should,
cool
because he never really spoke up for the.
Yeah, and he don't really do much. He's a quiet, rich motherfucker. And the other dub is gonna be to the Atlanta community because of the fact that they got the Erica Shields to step down with what just happened. So that's another dub. Kind of going back to yesterday's dub, but Black America's keeping it strong. And then we getting these dubs.
I do think we're probably gonna see more and more police chiefs coming out and stepping down and resigning or whatever. Basically, the mutual agreement between them two, that they know that the stuff that's been going on under their watch and under their command, that stuff just can't be tolerated. So,
but if you think about our last podcast, we was talking about that too.
To the Atlanta community, them people down there, y'all down there holding it down. Please don't burn down the Waffle House. Keep the Waffle House safe. But
if you think about it, we were just talking about that on the last podcast. That's what needs to happen. They need to start stepping down. All these people who are ahead of these things that are corrupt need to step down, and shit, that's a dub even for us on the podcast. We called this shit last time.
That's very hey. You already know how it is in the Unpopular Opinion podcast. Moving on with our regular scheduled program. The Louisiana governor John Bell Edward signed a bill throwing water on a police officer a criminal charge. Before that, they never had that law into effect. Well, that wasn't one of the liquids that could be classified as a criminal offense. It is now during the riots and all this other stuff. Obviously, we know why they put it into effect. What does this say about Louisiana? What does it say about the governor of Louisiana that you have to sign into a bill about throwing water, and now that's now a criminal charge?
I don't know did you see those videos where they were throwing the water on the police and the police was just like walking away and shit?
No.
Well, there was a video of it, but I don't even know if that's in correlation to that. But if y'all don't feel like y'all safe, if we throw some water on you, I don't feel like we safe for y'all to have guns. When it's proven time and time again, a lot of y'all don't know how to use your weapons. Y'all don't need no tasers. Y'all don't need nothing. Just go out there with them hands. Y'all want to be brave, because the problem with it is time and time again, it's showing these police aren't brave enough to fulfill their job duties. And I feel like the biggest problem is people who are probably bullied in high school or something. Then they get a power trip. They try to become a policeman and have the biggest hangers on the block. But the problem with that is bad things tend to happen with people who aren't used to feeling tough. They try to overly do it. And that's what's really going on right now, all through these things. And now people, I don't know, people ain't going to have it no more. And I still think they should throw some water. Because guess what? If you go to jail for throwing water, boy, shit, I'll stand with you.
The fact that he did this during this time, I don't know, man. I probably wouldn't just throw water on anybody just because. Like, I'd probably just have to be mad. Like,
but no, think about. Did you see that video? You didn't see that video that came out on World Star? It was like a happy video. It was all light mood. Everybody was having fun. They were throwing the little water guns to the National Guard and shit that was guarding them. But they were throwing the water guns on the floor, and then they started like playing with each other. The National Guard and all them, they were having fun, bro. All of them were having fun. But now all of a sudden think about it. They ain't trying to let nobody have no fun. That's what it is. They saw that video. They're like, oh, okay. Y'all think this a game? All right, motherfucker.
You think this is a game? I ain't playing with you.
No, but for real, bro. If you go on World Star, you'll see it. It was just posted like a day or two ago. It's literally them just running around and playing with each other like they're having fun. It don't even make no damn sense. But I can understand in a perception that they don't know. This is what it is. They don't know what the water could be at first. But I feel like if they find out it's just water, fuck it, man. Fuck it. Because it's just water. And it also depends on what is the severity of the case, too. Or like if they're just bringing them in, giving them a slap on the wrist, like, don't throw water on me, get up out of here. Then all right. But if they're trying to give people some type of real
well, they definitely said a criminal. They said a criminal.
Yeah,
offense,
like a real.
I mean, it's just for me. It's almost like how they tried to. Huh?
What would they make a penalty be for that? Think about that being locked up. Hey, bro, what you in for? Shit.
30 days in jail.
Super soaked the sheriff, nigga. Oh, you shot the sheriff? No, I soaked that nigga up. This nigga a goon. Bro, it was just a water gun. Bro, that shit ain't gonna go well in jail. Come on now.
Nah, bro. Hey, but you can't choose what you go to jail for. When they want to take you, they'll make us some charges. That's
no, and that's going back to what we said
that's
earlier.
Basically
now it's starting to feel like
making a charge. Like, I get it, man. Like, you know, like if you just walk, I guess you just walking down the street and you just throwing water on police officers. I mean, I guess, and you know that's. You know, I guess you get what you deserve, I guess.
Yeah, you're just being an asshole.
Yeah, you just being, but But if you like say like they're doing something illegal and you're trying to stop it, say like in the George Floyd case,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you
Imagine,
go and
yeah,
you like
he's
pour like
choking someone. He's
water
like,
on them,
stop.
now that's a criminal offense when you're just trying to stop them from doing something that's clearly illegal. Like I mean,
That
Louisiana,
has a lot of loopholes. That
yeah,
has a
bro.
lot of
Like
loopholes. And I heard
Louisiana, like
Louisiana hot. Louisiana too hot to not be able to throw water on people. Don't
yeah,
make no
bro.
damn
Like
sense.
y'all killing me out there in Louisiana, but I shouldn't really be. I guess I really shouldn't be. I shouldn't be surprised because it is a southern state, and with their love for the police and dislike for black people, of course, that's really what this is about. Because
I,
when we talk about the protesters, people don't even talk about the white people that's out there looting as
I
much
was about to
as
say,
the people that's out
people
there
don't
looting.
realize no matter what,
It's
no matter
only
what's
they
going
only
on,
mention Black Lives Matter, or they only mention black people that's doing this and doing that. So
think literally,
we're
if
always
aliens came out the
it's
sky,
always
if
our fault
aliens
anyway.
came out, if aliens came out the sky, they'd be like, see, it's because of black people. Right now, no matter what could happen. But I'm starting to see so many videos, and when I'm gonna have to start spacing myself out from World Star and all these things, because you could also see it's trying to suck you into that anger. It's trying to suck you into being mad as hell. Like earlier, I saw a rewind clip. It's a little 8-year-old black boy, and the policeman is like, they're all roughing this little boy up, and of course he's like, man, fuck y'all, let me go, let me go. But they're like beating up on this little 8-year-old boy, and it's an
Oh, I
old ass
think I know
video.
what one you're talking about. Like, did they grab him like around his neck, like in like a
Yeah,
headlock? Yeah, I
exactly,
think I seen that
exactly.
video.
But the thing is, think why are they putting out all these videos now all of a sudden? I understand the movement going on, but we don't need no more anger. We have enough bullshit to deal with. And all these sites are perpetuating this shit. When you watch all the news, it's perpetuating this everywhere we look. And I don't know. I feel like this Black Lives Matter was a thing, and then it's been infiltrated. Just like the Black Lives Matter leader said, that he thinks it was infiltrated. I see where he's coming from, because it's become something totally different. It's become something totally different.
That's normally how it always is. Something that we make ours. People, it always happens that way. This is nothing different. Moving on. The NBA earlier last week announced that they will be returning back to play. They were on July 30th. They will start training camp at the end of this month to get ready. They will play 8 games before they start the regular season. 9 teams from the Eastern Conference, and I believe 13 from the West was going to fight for a chance to go to the playoffs. But just recently, there have been a lot of chatter that a lot of NBA players growing concern about the NBA returning amid the racial issue that we have and the fight that's going on right now within the country right now. Kyrie Irving held a meeting between I believe it was like 80 to 80 players yesterday, a Zoom meeting to talk about that. Should they resume the season? Because a lot of those guys think that we have bigger fish to fry, feel that we're just using sports as a outlet, as a getaway from what's going on to distract us. Steven Jackson, who's been very vocal since the murder of George Floyd, as his childhood friend. He's been very vocal. He has some interesting things to say. So I'm just gonna play a little bit of what Steven Jackson had to say, and I'm gonna get your opinions on that.
Hey, what up, world? Man, I love the NBA, man. I got, as my family. But now ain't the time to be playing basketball, y'all. Now ain't the time. Playing basketball is gonna do one thing: take all the attention off the task at hand right now, what we fighting for. Everybody gonna be worrying about the playoffs. They gonna have all that blast all over the TV, and nobody's gonna be talking about getting justice for all these senseless murders by the police, and nobody gonna be focusing on the task at hand, bro. None of these white owners have spoken up. None of them are taking.
So, as you heard what Steven Jackson had to say, that basketball right now is not the time to play basketball right now because it's distracting us from the real issue of what's going on about getting justice. Do you agree with what he's saying? Do you agree that that they're bringing sports back in order to distract people from what's really going on?
Well, I will say I don't think I think they're bringing back sports because they care more about money than they care about what's going on. And I'll say it that way. I feel like they don't really care per se, because this is the thing. I think they would have to care a little bit to bring them back for that. And I don't believe they give any fucks. I think the only thing that matters is how much money is coming in. And right now money is just stopped, so that they ain't feeling that and they want to get people back out there. And that's another reason why no one has said anything about it. Like the bigger white owners of these NBA teams and stuff, because what are they going to say? Nothing they can say will bring them income. Think of these other companies, they're saying things and then they start dropping some Black Lives Matter merch. That's what I'm going to call it, merch. Just like all these other things, whatever's hip, they drop merch for it. And that's what all these other companies are doing. If you really think about the companies that are speaking out, 90% of these companies are also benefiting from the fact they're speaking out. From, oh, we'll give you guys a 15% sale now. Oh, we'll give you this. That's still just doing something for them to bring in income. The NBA can't really do that. They're not going to say, okay, we'll give this portion of seats for free to the black people. They're not going to do that shit. The problem with it all is corporations only care about money. What he's saying is 100% true. Right when sports start, everybody's going to get back into that old school swirly in the eyes, staring at the TV, and nobody's going to care about Black Lives Matter. And sadly, we're not going to be able to stop it, because as you were saying, it's all going to go back to normal. It is. Right when all this media shit that is usually corroding our mind and making us not think about the shit that's been going on, because all this shit ain't nothing new. We knew us as black people have been getting killed for years and years and years. Let's think, what made us really think about the shit? We didn't have other shit going on. So now it's become a huge thing. Now even white people are using it as a, and I hate to say white people, but a lot of people are using it as an event to go do something because there's nothing else to do with Corona. Let's be honest, this is fueling directly the Black Lives Matter movement because we have all of our attention on it now. It's just like that shit with the Pizzagate. All this shit that's been under the carpet for so long, our TVs is shut off, so now we lifting up the carpet and looking around for shit. And we starting to find a lot of shit we didn't know was there. And even the shit we did know was there, we didn't know, damn, there's this much shit. Because now we lifting up the whole carpet and we realize there's shit all over, all under the carpet. It's everywhere. And now we're seeing it because that TV is fucking hypnotizing. It's hypnotizing.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I'm gonna disagree, and I'm not gonna disagree with your whole statement as a whole, and I'm not gonna disagree with what Steven Jackson, the point he was trying to make, because I understand what he's trying to say or what he actually said, not what he was trying to say because he actually said it.
Yeah.
I understand what he's saying, but I asked Steven Jackson, did that stop people from protesting when Michael Brown got killed? Did that stop people? I'm sure sports was going on then. Did it stop people then? What about Trayvon Martin? Because I seen athletes all over voicing their support when that happened. So I'm confused as to why people think that it's an outlet when people been already crying for sports for months now. It ain't got like this was before what happened with George Floyd. People has been talking about sports. Like people
I
have been
think a
talking
good
about sports ever since all the sports was canceled.
a
So
good example is, bro, think about our community. As Black people, we're real bad followers, bro. Think about our community. People don't like something until there's a following of it. Think about our community doesn't support. A good example is Black-owned businesses, local Black-owned businesses. People don't support them until what? Until they blow up. Then all of a sudden, oh yeah, that's my dog. Oh shit. It's the same thing with everything. Like everybody wasn't willing to do this before because nobody did it. And then now that it automatically kind of got done just from the corona happening, now it caused it to happen. And that's why I think we're doing it now. People before didn't even think to do it because nobody was selfless
they
enough.
didn't think to do what though?
On it, I don't know. Just stop, because the thing is, we would have.
Bro, because we've always had sport. That's the main reason why people say I don't want my sports with politics. That ain't really necessarily dealing with the actual politics like Washington and all that. That's the players protesting. You just heard what 2 years ago, Laura Ingram tell Kevin Durant and LeBron shut up and dribble because we don't because they was voicing their opinion on
exactly boom, but
It
exactly
always
that.
happens, though.
But that's what I'm saying. Now us as Black people, what we should do until there's a change, Black people who are in these sport in NBA, Black NBA players, Black NFL players, don't play. Even white people, even if you're supporting, go play. See how interesting it is, and everything will change because it's all
I
about
agree
the money.
with that point, but we're just talking about Steven Jackson's point on when the NBA comes back, people are going to just somehow forget that cities are still being burned down.
I think that they're going to overlook it. It's
that's so narrow-minded to me. Like I get it, man. Like people act like we can't multitask. Like people act like we've never tackled having sports in racial issues in this country. It's like every time
I agree
with a racial situation that we just cancel sports just to deal with these racial issues. And it's like that's what's confusing to me. That's what I'm talking about. Like I get what he's saying, but it's like it's still somewhat. I'm not going to call it an idiotic statement, but it's a little misguided because it's like we've always had players protesting. You know, Eric.
But
Garner,
I think that's why though.
All the players wore "I Can't Breathe." You don't think NBA players throughout the league on national television wearing "I Can't Breathe" shirts, you don't think they're doing just as much as they doing sitting at home right now?
Nah, bro, because if you look at the changes that have happened
these changes haven't come from athletes.
Okay. Yeah, I have to agree with that.
They have a way bigger platform. They have a way bigger platform.
What I'm saying though now,
back in 2015, when that happened with Eric Garner and all of the NBA teams wore I can't breathe shirts.
And I know
that does way bigger than just one or two big superstars coming out voicing a tweet in frustration.
But now it's a different world now, bro, because they did all wear the I Can't Breathe shirts. We all remember that. But what did it do after? It brought light.
But what is this doing though?
Bro, it's demanding a change now. It's doing something different.
But that's not by the athletes. That's we're talking about the athletes here.
Because I think as a community, everybody
distract people from what's going on, from getting justice. And I'm asking, when has that ever been a issue though? When?
No, I don't think it has. I think this is the first time
ever plagued people's minds with getting justice from unarmed Black people getting killed. When has that ever happened?
I think what it comes down to, bro, is like us as a Black community. Everybody's trying to be like give up something. Like a lot of people that should be working, they're protesting. It's like that. I feel like they're doing the same thing, but just on their platform. Like they don't want to go back and work because they want to continue to protest, but they can't say that directly because they'll probably get some type of fine.
This
or
is
some
what I'm
shit,
saying. This is what I'm saying, Dano. Hear me out here. This is what I mean. There's 15 players on an average NBA roster, plus you got coaches, you got training staff or whatever,
Round
right?
it up to like
Now,
20 people, 20, 25.
out of those 15 players that's on the team, Dano, how many of those players do you think have tweeted out something in support of the Black Lives Matter movement or the injustices that goes on against minorities in this country? How many of
12.
those? Huh?
Probably like 12.
And I'll say 12. I'll say that number is way too high.
No, and I'm pretty sure it is.
Because let's just take the Lakers for example, right? I haven't necessarily heard nobody really speak on it. Danny Green done an interview, but that was more of an interview. Kyle Kuzma did an interview, but that's an interview where people asking you questions. Of course, somebody asks you a question on it, you're going to answer it. I'm talking about people that's just coming out, actually voicing their opinions and putting their name behind what's going on. I would say probably 2 to 3 per team, and that's not even every team.
But then also the thing about now, bro.
Hold on. Let's just say the 9 Eastern Conference teams that's coming back to play, plus the 13 or 14 Western Conference teams that's coming back to play. They're all on national TV protesting. You don't think these same people that's talking about, oh, they're going to be blind because they're going to be watching that, you don't think that's going to raise awareness to what's going on? You don't think that a whole team of people or a whole league of people protesting is not going to do the same thing as the 2 or 3 that per team that's doing something right now? Because there's a lot of people on these NBA teams that's silent, that you haven't heard nothing from. So what is their voice doing right now that it won't do on TV?
The real question is, would it upset a fan more to not see a game or see their player just wearing a shirt?
I don't think so, because we've already not had sports. Like basketball has already been gone for about a month and a half, 2 months now. So no, I don't think it will make as big of an impact as, let's say, if they were actually playing and then they just was going to stop for this issue. You see what I'm saying? I think since it's already been gone, it's already been away. It's not like the sports world have basketball right now. It's already been gone, so.
Well, I support them playing half the game, and then at the half game mark, be like, all right, we dropping the ball. We done it right there at the half game.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to just talk about just the idea, that somehow, while everything COVID still kind of going on right now, and people are still social distancing and restaurants are still 15 people capacity, what can they be doing now that they can't be doing on national television? That's what I'm saying. Because if you don't think LeBron James having a microphone in his hand talking on national TV where millions of people are actually watching that, you don't think that does way more difference than the people that don't have social media when he make an Instagram post? Let me ask you something. How many 60-year-olds do you think got Instagram?
That's a good question.
So how many them 60-year-olds do you think see LeBron James when he posts an Instagram post about racial injustices compared to the amount of people that's going to see him on the television? Now, how many of those 60-year-olds do you think have?
Now, how powerful would it be though? How powerful would it be if they went in just suits and they just all went and sat down though, but they still went to the game because they didn't play?
Me personally, I had already put in my mind that basketball kind of wasn't coming back. I had hope for it, but to me, I had already kind of thought that it wasn't coming back. So I don't really care if it comes back. Like, it's good that it's coming back, and I get to watch some sports. But I think them sending a message on TV is way more powerful than what they can do on social media, because not everybody has social media. Like a lot of people just don't do social media. But there's a lot of people that have a television in their house. There's a lot of people that's going to watch sports when it comes on, regardless of who's playing. It's because it's just sports. You know, I'm one of them people. It just doesn't matter who it is. I'm going to watch it because it's sports. So I think these guys having a voice on national television will do way more than what we can do right now in this COVID, in this quote unquote COVID
world.
Yeah, world right now.
I totally
We're still going
understand
3
that
at a time. The NBA, you know, they can only practice with like 3 people at a time. So I think being on television could boost what's going on right now, because you have these powerful people in sports like Russell Westbrook, who's talking about doing a documentary on Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. Now, you don't think the people that's not on social media, that haven't heard that, hearing it from Russell Westbrook on television, you don't think that's going to raise the height and awareness of what's going on, and people ain't going to want justice? When have our people never wanted justice for what's going on, even when it's our fault? Tell me when. Tell me when, bro. Like, let's be real here. Even when it's our fault, we still want justice. We still gonna want to blame somebody else. So how is sports is gonna distract people from wanting justice, of people literally get choked out on camera, you know, crying for their mothers, bro? Like that makes no sense to me. Like, I get it, and he's emotional because he's attached to the situation. And Kyrie Irving, he swear he's this, you know, enlightened individual, but the athletes have always used their platform to raise awareness. What if Colin Kaepernick did? His protest wouldn't be as big as it was if it wasn't on TV, right?
Who knows though, because we don't know if stopping something like the NFL, bro. But then I mean, or NBA, I do see what you're saying, because it's already been not going on, so it's not gonna.
Yeah, people are like, this
impact.
is a new situation.
Yeah, but I think everybody's just trying to take a different approach right now. That's really what it is, and everybody's trying to see whatever works. And it all goes back to, we don't have no damn answer. No, we don't got the answer.
Right.
Sway.
That's why I say we all out here throwing out opinions. Let's get another opinion. Dano's clown that he found. Another great segment that we got for you guys. What you got for me, Mr. Dano the Don?
Okay, the clowns that I found today. Let's go into this. Now we're gonna go into a lot of this stuff going on. So today I gave the L to the Black officers struggling with race and public identity. There's a lot of Black officers who are having problems with finding out who they are, if they should stand up for their people or they should stand up for the police. And when I say that in itself, you already know why they're taking the L. If you ain't standing up for your people, you get the automatic L. And then even at that, if you're a policeman, you're supposed to stand up for the people. So if you're in confusion about that, you don't deserve to have the badge anyway. You don't deserve to be a policeman. You don't even deserve to be a Black man. Go turn in your badge and turn in your color and go somewhere else with that bullshit. That's who gets the L. And that's
all right. So let me stop you right there first off, because I got something quick to say about that. I agree with what you're saying, but that's why I said earlier about Black people being cops. It's kind of hard because it already pulls against your moral code. Why? Why does it, Dano? Because you've lived in the hood. Where does it roam, Dano?
In the hood.
Where did I meet you at? I met you. We stayed in a gated community. Did the police ever come through there?
Hell no, we was good in there.
Police never rode through that neighborhood. Why? Because they figure, there's no crime there. When that's really where all the crime is at.
Yeah, all of them.
Being a cop, bro, being a Black person, it already gonna pull against your code, because where they gonna have you patrolling that? Oh, you a Black person. I know you'll be able to get along with the people in the community over there. So where they gonna send you at? Now,
right where the Black people live.
Because now you got a job to do, because you got to feed your family, you know, or you ain't gonna be without a job, and now your family gonna be on the street, or you gonna go against the code of how you grew up, knowing why these people are doing what they're doing. So that's why I said that earlier. But that's a good point.
Yeah, because I see it everywhere on the news right now that they're all having this problem all across America, and that's an L to me. Shit, if you don't know if you can do, I don't even know, because me saying that kind of makes me feel like I'm saying, you know what, if you can't be racist, because that's kind of what it feels like the temperature of being a police now is. If you can't be racist, you can't do the job, and it's sad we're in that place, but that's kind of where we at. And until I ain't gonna say even until. If you ain't a strong black man, don't become no policeman, because you're gonna fold worse than the white man. Because we've seen it too many times where it could be the black man on the next time, and it ain't color for a lot of these police no more. It's just they don't care what their color is. That's what I should say. Your color still matters, but theirs don't. When they put on that blue, their whole race turns into blue. It's a whole nother race, and motherfuckers don't get
They
it.
get tough.
And
Tough,
I've come
boy.
across that
They
before
get tough.
too.
They get tough. They
Don't meet
tough,
no
boy.
bro. Never meet a Terrell with the badge. He'll beat that ass. I learned that quick. They trying to be them Uncle Toms, boy. But nah, that's who gets the L. And but then I still hope the best for y'all. I hope y'all can figure out who y'all want to be. But that ain't my problem. I gave y'all the L for the day. Now y'all got to figure out the rest. And that's it for the L.
Oh, I thought you said you had two of them. You had me going right
No,
now.
no, that's a.
I thought you had me. I thought you had another one. Hey, but speaking of L's though, bro, that's actually a pretty good segue that you just gave me there. Speaking of L's, the entire Hallenberg. Hold on, not Hallenberg. Let me make sure I get it right. The entire Hallandale Beach SWAT team, they all resigned. All resigned. The entire SWAT team, they all resigned because they did not like the way that their police chief kneeled in solidarity with the vice mayor and the protester against police brutality. They all signed the memo. They wrote the memo out. They're actually pretty mad, bro. They actually, they took their time. They wrote out a nice little memo outlining, why they doing what they doing. They mentioned, the equipment that they're using is outdated. They barely have enough time for training, and that the city council and the mayor and stuff, city administration, they don't care. They also talked about the vice mayor, how her name is Sabrina Javelina.
All of a sudden, fam.
How she talks about she want police officers to go to jail when they do something wrong, which I don't really see anything wrong with that. And they also
that's why they're running away.
And lastly, in the memo, they mentioned about how they did not like, and specifically it says, lastly, and most shockingly, having members of the command staff taking a knee in solidarity with Vice Mayor Javelina, who stated she wants officers fired and charged in a handful of open cases. So they mad. They super tight right now. They super tight. What you think of this situation, bro? The entire it's always funny, right? When people say all lives matter, right? But if all lives matter, why are you so mad when people are saying Black lives matter? Why are you so mad when people are showing support for Black Lives Matter, but you say all lives matter? But then you made up a counter protest to say blue lives matter. So which is it? Is it all lives matter or is it blue lives matter? Which is it? Why has everybody always got a problem with Black Lives Matter?
The problem is, I feel like the biggest issue is now when they see people are starting to internalize and see their strength, they can't have it. And now the SWAT team sees that even their own home ain't taking the bullshit no more. And that lady saying that they should get arrested, all that's true. And everybody would know that to be true. But unless it's because a lot of these SWAT teams probably been into some shit where they know they shouldn't have been into, and now they might. I think most of these dudes were scared that there was going to be something that comes up, and I feel like there's so much under this it's like the iceberg. Like they always say with the iceberg, you only see the ice, and underneath there's so much shit that you don't even know. And that's how I feel like it is with a lot of these police. A lot of these police is looking over their shoulder every day because they know they feel paranoid of something they've done. And a lot of these, I think we're gonna see a lot of people resign.
I will say that's probably the best thing about these protests. That it's actually got a lot of police officers looking over their shoulder now, and that's probably for me. I think that's probably the best thing that's probably came out of this protest. The fact that now these guys that do stuff can no longer kind of really just do it and know that they're going to be good. That's to me. I think that's probably the best thing that come from the protest.
All the shadows are coming to light. That's
exactly.
That's what it really is. Is all those shadows is coming to light.
Now, I just don't really understand, man. You know, people that say all lives matter, but then they get like if all lives matter, why does it bother you so much that I say Black lives matter?
That's the thing. It's that hidden racism that I don't understand. It's retarded. Let's be honest.
It's like, why does me saying Black Lives Matter bother you so much if you're telling me that all lives matter? So isn't Black lives a part of all lives?
And that goes into thinking, do they even feel like Black people are lives, are people, are even,
they call us animals and thugs and monkeys.
Exactly.
And all these this other stuff. So of course, they don't think that our lives matter. Of course, not all of them, but Yeah,
it's all, a lot of it is word games. It's just like when you
by association most of the time.
There's a lot of things where I don't know. I don't think there's problems that are going to be fixed even in our lifetime. I just pray we continue to go in the right direction. And that's all we can really do. And I just hope we stop dying as a community. What we need to do is we need to get some guns, because I feel like if we at least have guns, at least they'll be more afraid to just kill us. I don't think we should kill police, but they need to see that we can arm ourselves. We can protect ourselves. People need to stop being scared to do things for themselves as well. Stop calling the police for fucking everything. Because if it ain't a necessity, if it ain't somebody dying or something, you don't need to call them, because it could turn into somebody dying. There's too many calls out here where it's somebody calling over their neighbor, getting on their nerves, someone
boyfriend and girlfriend calling on each other. And
and then somebody comes and gets killed because one little thing happened. Oh, we thought it was a gun. No, that's a cell phone. Well, it looked like a gun. We've dealt with this enough. So us as a community, I'm not saying defund the police, and I'm going to say it again, but we need to learn how to police our own communities as well. We also need to learn how to be strong enough so we can't be victims in any state, not to the police, not to criminals, not to anybody. People need to stop being so damn weak, because that's the problem. People have weakened themselves so much to where they have to depend on the police. So with anything occurring, they're easily manipulated, easily controlled. And we just got to do better. That's all we can do, is do better and become stronger as people. And if you ain't strong by yourself, you got to get with somebody else and get strong with them or something.
Yeah, I don't, in the foreseeable future, like you say, I don't really see this really coming to much of an end. Another crazy story that we got on the docket on Tuesday, Broward County. And I know to all my Florida people, I'm not trying to say Broward. I know where Broward is at. It's Broward County, somewhere in Florida. The president of the Florida Fraternal Order of Police chapter has been suspended from the sheriff's office after he used the chapter's Facebook page to offer jobs to police officers with excessive use of force accusations. So let me just run this back down to you again. The president of the police fraternal chapter, who happened to be a lieutenant, by the way, Lieutenant Burt Gammon, was using the chapter's police Facebook page to recruit members of the police society that Yata, that he's using the Facebook page to recruit members, officers that have already had excessive use of force accusations against them. So we're not talking about officers that like to use excessive force, which most of them do. We're talking about officers that already had complaints put in against them. He's using the Facebook page to I guess you could say, lure them out to come to Florida. He actually wrote in a Facebook post on one of them, "Hey, Buffalo 57 and Atlanta 6, we're hiring in Florida. Lower taxes, no spineless leadership or dumb mayors rambling on a press conference. Plus, we got your back." He also made another post on Facebook using the chapter page addressing the Minneapolis Police Department. He says, Minneapolis officer, we will not, in all caps, disband our LE agencies or give in. We are hiring in Florida. And then he goes on his lower taxes and all that, no spineless mayors. So what do you think of this situation? And then the fact that he's only just suspended. What do you make of this, man?
Loki, I think that's fucking crazy because he's basically saying, yeah, we'll beat your ass and fuck y'all. What y'all gonna do about it? And I can't literally hear anything other than that. And yeah, bitch, you gonna take this. You gonna take it. That's all I'm hearing, and that shit's crazy to me. And then they're not even really firing him. They just gave him a fucking vacation. That shows a lot. I feel like people where he's from need to stand up and piece this nigga up. I don't give a fuck. I don't usually say violence, and I'm not saying violence right now. I'm talking Reese's Pieces. Give that nigga a lot of Reese's Pieces because what he's saying is fucked up. And I don't know. That's fucking, I can't even respond to that. That's just crazy, bro. He's literally...
It kind of go back to what I was saying the other day on the last podcast, bro. And this, the fact that if in this climate, with what's going on today, the things that we've seen, the track record that we have seen social media get to, if you're still making comments like that on public places, especially places where you have to write out what you got to say, and you're just not speaking in the moment, you literally have to take your time to write that out. And then you have to hit the send button. And then you still have time to delete it probably before anybody can actually start screenshotting. The fact that you still make comments like that in this type of climate, you must really have some serious hate in your like that hate must run deep, boy. Like,
and beyond that though, why is his comfort level where he can say something like that? Why is he feeling so comfortable?
Because he only got
post something like that.
Because he know he only going to get suspended, and he know he's going to be right back on the job.
But that also shows the climate of those around him, and that's what people need to look at. And that's what I think that's the biggest thing. When we see a virus, we need to be able to understand where that virus comes from and who is connected to that virus. Him being a virus, him being able to say that means there's people in his inner circle who also work with him, who have those same kind of beliefs. So we need to start chipping down after we find one person, get them fired, get them to resign, whatever it may be, and get everybody around them to do the same. We got to keep pounding it to them until they do, because it's just a crazy world we living in. Because in a sense, at least back in the day, they knew who the enemy were. Now we live in a world where so many people are the enemy. We have friends, but we have foes that could kill us and we would never know. Then we have foes who are openly our enemy. But it's hard to tell now, and that's the scariest thing. I think it may be more scary now than it was yesterday, and I know people are going to hate me for saying that.
The
But at
people
least we really knew people
that's
were
paid
racist.
to protect us is actually the people that we actually need to be the most scared of, and that's just another example of why we should
Who can we
be
trust?
worried about the police, because you got guys like that, that's welcoming people with excessive use of force accusations against them. So the fact
And probably laughing
that you have people like
behind his
that,
keyboard.
huh?
Probably just sitting there laughing behind his keyboard while he types that.
Yeah,
No
he
sympathy
were,
for.
and he's fat as I don't know what. So that, so
Yeah.
that's exactly what it was.
Looking like Santa Claus.
Yeah, exactly. So
Typing on his
the
shit.
fact that stuff like this is continually to happen on a daily basis just shows that we have a long way to go in this country. We are making small strides, but we still have a long way to go. But without further ado, that's gonna be it for today's podcast. I want to thank you guys for joining in the podcast. Like I say, continue to download the podcast, continue to support the podcast. We thank you for all the love and the support. Link in the description on YouTube for all of our social medias, the Unpopular Opinion podcast page and the Unpopular Opinion website page. Unpopular Opinion podcast airs every Wednesday. If he cannot get his camera together,
Goddamn, I gotta hold
every
this
single
motherfucker.
time. But the Unpopular Opinion podcast will air regular scheduled days, Mondays and Fridays. We love you guys. Thank you for all the support. You want to take us out of here, bro? You got some words?
Appreciate y'all, all of us. We got to keep this movement going. You already know what it is. We stand strong, and we're going to keep on pushing until we get to the place we want to be. Every step ain't going to be a long stride, but every step is a step forward. And we got to remember that. We can't let others hold us back who plan on holding us down, because those people are only beneath us. And while they try to pull us down to where they are, we must step on their hands and step on their face. And that's where we're going to take this, and we ending it there.